Allow us just a few minutes to explain how our redevelopment model will help revitalize Detroit and other blighted cities. This third video will explain where we are in the Kickstarter campaign, more about our model redevelopment solution, and how you can help us reverse the blight that spread through Detroit's neighborhoods. So far, we raised an impressive amount, but none of the pledges actually were from anyone who lives in or near the vicinity of Detroit, and none in Michigan. Those that pledged are individuals who own businesses that have benefited from our technologies and methods and believe our redevelopment solution will make a difference for the existing and future residents of Detroit. Let's look at some more elements of the redevelopment model we want to implement within the city. Detroit's dwindling population lives in lower-priced homes that cannot support the high tax base required to maintain its excessive infrastructure, which desperately needs reconstruction. The tight grid pattern of its residential neighborhoods create a ratio of paved surfaces in streets, alleys, walks, and driveways in relation to residential footprint that far exceeds that of typical suburban design. In other words, for every square foot of home, there is an excessive area of pavement to serve it. A report presented to Detroit City Council by landscape architect Arthur Comey warned of the problems with the grid, and also in particular the design with alleys, yet Council did not listen. That report was written in 1915. Had the solutions been heeded, perhaps Detroit would not have needed to go bankrupt. Our solution is to acquire large enough tracts in cleared regions of blight, abandon existing right-of-ways on approximately 2/3 of the street, and remove the aging infrastructure, essentially turning back time and allowing a new beginning as was suggested a century ago. Once we abandon excessive streets, that area becomes contiguous and we develop a design that is far more efficient than that of the competing Detroit suburbs, where families flock to for a home with a yard and space. With less infrastructure, we have less cost and environmental impact while providing more space than is offered in surrounding suburbia, while reducing Detroit's infrastructure maintenance headaches. If there are any existing homes still standing worthy of savings with families that want to stay put, we will build a new foundation with an efficient HVAC and move the structure to a better location in a new neighborhood. Or, if an existing family wants to stay and the home should not be saved, work with them to do our best to keep them at or near their location. Our model is different than a gentrification solution which replaces an existing lower class with upper crust of society. Ideally, we will seek land completely cleared of existing homes. The problem with both urban and suburban cookie-cutter growth, any experience of space typically requires a walk or drive to a park or common. With our redevelopment solution, gains in land by abandoning right-of-way can increase both existing densities and space, but far more important, that increase in openness will be enjoyed everywhere for everyone. Every home, single family or attached, will have its internal floor plan, living spaces, walls, and window locations coordinated with exterior open spaces, providing not only more space, but connecting it to the human experience. This model of design and construction merges planning and architecture. The ratio of home footprint to paved spaces serving it should be approximately half of what is currently the built spaces in Detroit. This plummets both development cost and environmental impacts, allowing more funds to be used to create nicer and more efficient housing instead of a sea of concrete and the sewer pipes no one sees. Another part of our model is to reach out and involve Detroit universities that teach architecture or engineering by teaching them the market-proven design innovations and by donating technology we've developed. This way, we not only provide an actual development that plants a seed for revitalization, but we empower a future generation of leading consultants to replicate and spread the model elsewhere. Now that you know more about our goals, let's explain how you can help us meet them. This past few weeks, we approached many people of influence in Detroit. Many were millionaires and some billionaires who are stakeholders in Detroit, yet not even a single $10 pledge from anyone in Michigan yet. Maybe it's the attitude, what's in it for me? The enormous amount of money poured into Detroit either by local or federal government, we all dearly paid for it no matter where you live in America, a whole lot more than a single small pledge. Because we are not a nonprofit, foundations cannot provide direct funding. However, many of the board members and founders of these foundations can make a personal pledge. If a significant number of people pledge what would be equal to a nice dinner in Greektown or a trip to one of Detroit's casinos, and if the stakeholders in Detroit pledge, we can meet our goal. Blight is like a cancer that spreads if not treated, and we believe that you can help us with a cure. And in the process, energize the city that does influence the living standards of millions of residents in and near Detroit. Please make a small pledge today and forward this video on to others.